Hello, welcome to the show. Today I'm joined by two amazing friends, Jase and Latif, both who run amazing online businesses and have two unique brands. And today we collaborate together and discuss all the different facets of their business, how they have built a successful community, and how they are growing their businesses individually and their brands and their future of their brands, and to really see how they can provide value to their coaches, clients, and the next stages for them. So I hope you enjoy the show. Now, thank you both for coming down. So I know you both on a different level, not just as guests, I know you as friends, and I wanted to invite you down because you run amazing businesses, successful businesses as well. But the unique thing about you both is that you're both chasing something bigger and you're not content. And that's something that many people don't have because they're not constantly chasing. They're not always trying to progress. So I wanted to understand more of like your mindset in like your business, where you're trying to go. So Lats, you were telling me with healthy mindset, where you're trying to grow it. So like, what's been the goal? Where have you got to now and where are you trying to go?
I'd say right now, I'm in a little bit of a situation. I need to kind of build a team because I've managed to get so far by myself, and I just feel like now I'm just searching for people who I feel like is good enough to join my team. You know, like people that have the same kind of mindset, same kind of vision. And that's why I like meeting up with guys like you guys, because it gives me extra inspiration and kind of just, helps me as well.
Yeah.
Get some more ideas and, because you guys are very creative and how you do your stuff, especially you, Jase, like how you do your photo shooting with your clients and all that kind of stuff is good, man. So
in marketing, a lot of the times you use the phrasing, who can you best serve? And that's usually your customer. So who can you help the most? Mm-hmm. And that ends up being your customer. So what type of guys are you helping the most at the moment? Who can you best serve?
So for me, it's mainly people who are quite slim or really big. They want to either lose a lot of weight or they want to pack on some muscle and kind of get a bit more bulkier. Also with women as well, I get a lot of women that need help because they kind of live the lifestyle where they haven't really ever tried to better themselves physically. So I get a lot of women as well.
And how's your business like? What's made it grow?
I think right now I've been quite organic. I haven't really tried to make myself grow. Like I haven't been doing like paying for any advertisement or anything like that. I've just kind of been myself on social media.
All organic?
All organic at the moment, to be honest. Yeah. And that's why now organically I'm busy. So now I need a team, because when I start trying to make myself grow, I'm going to need a team behind me, to work with me, help me give a quality service. Because for me, it's like I'm not trying to sell something, I'm trying to help somebody. Yeah. So I need to make sure I can help people the best I can.
So you want to leverage your platform, get more coaches on your platform, and this is what you're trying to recruit for.
Yeah.
And it's like this might be a way for coaches to find you. So if they approach you, how do they best approach you? How do they become a part of your team? What are you looking for?
So for a coach to approach me, you can either message me, email me. I'm quite easily accessible, DM, and kind of like, and then we would sort out a phone call and kind of just, I'll see your credentials and stuff like that, and then can take it from there.
And you shared with me that you're kind of already building this before, a few days ago. And this is why I actually invited Jase, because I thought he's actually been having a team already. He's got a team.
Yeah.
He's
a couple of steps ahead.
But in some ways, you might be steps ahead, because in social media presence, you're ahead in one way, and then Jase's engagement is so high, and his business is ahead in different ways. So there's what the conversation does is it kind of like we can share knowledge, and that's how we all grow.
Man, 100%. Like Jase has definitely got good experience working with people. I like to tap into his mind. I think there's so many ways to do things, though. I'll always do things in my own way, because it's just that's how it is.
Doing things in your own way is going to be your unique selling point.
Exactly.
There's only one Latif. No one can replicate that. So I think the way you're doing things now and having your unique way of doing it is that's your selling point.
100%, man. I agree.
Jase, so you've built this coaching platform now, so you've got coaches on board. How did you go from just having you coaching and serving your clients Why did you actually start? Why did you build a team?
The reason I built a team, because there's only so much things you can do in the day, and I believe Lats will experience this as well, is it gets to a point you need a team, because ultimately there's to keep a business afloat and to keep a business moving forward, I need to be focused on the priority tasks. And, sometimes you need to hire someone to do the non-priority tasks. And, the priority task for me is, getting the client in shape, doing the diet, producing the content, because the content gets the leads. It may sound weird, but the non-priority task is me filtering through the leads. So initially I hired a VA, go through my leads, do some outreach work, etc., because I haven't got time to do that outreach work. My time is spent getting people in shape, because at the end of the day, it's a results-driven business. So my time needs to be spent on higher priority tasks to me. And ultimately, when you get to a space where you do feel like you personally can't do any more, but there is leads on the table, in any business, we don't want to leave money on the table. So when you don't want to leave money on the table, you have to expand. And that was one of the reasons why I expanded initially. And I've had 4 coaches on the team now. We've got 2. But I've had 4 on the team, and I've learned very quickly is, yes, someone like Latif as well, who's got a big heart, you can't help everyone by yourself. And so sometimes you do need to acquire more help in order to grow.
That's a good point. And do you know when, so you've been coaching now 6-7 years.
Yeah.
One of your skills is delegating. I always think that, from our conversations, I think, your skill is when you think.
You tell me do this highlight, I'll pay someone.
Yeah. And do you know when you think I'm not going to be the best at it, I'll get someone to be amazing at it. But where was the turning point? In the beginning, you couldn't delegate everything because you're not making as much money. So when was the point where you thought, now I'm going to start delegating? Or before I had to do everything myself?
Well, I sort of thought that on a smaller scale, because I always say to everyone now, like, my rule of thumb is you should invest 10% of your monthly income back into your business at minimum to generate more business. So I always thought that. And then when I got to a point where the monthly income was greater, then obviously it allowed me to hire more. When the monthly income was lower, it might have just been a graphics designer. All right. Then it goes from a graphics designer to a VA. Then it goes, from it might, so it just, the team you hire grow with the income.
So as your income grows, you're now hiring more because you're putting it straight back into your business.
Yeah, and that's it, because there's only certain amount of hours to do in the day, and there's tasks I won't be good at, And the best thing in business is when you remove your ego and say, do you know what, I'm actually not very good at that.
Yeah, and you're now coaching new clients, new coaches, so you're building their businesses.
Yeah, we've
guiding them. How does that work?
Yeah, we've got a small team at the Mentor Corner, which we work with coaches, building them to, we've got guides now, doing their first 70 clients, their first, 0 to 50 clients. So just helping people that was once in my position here. But we do that on a very small basis. But even then, helping them, I pick up tips and tricks from what they're doing, and I just learn from them. And, ultimately they are hiring that service to learn from the mistakes that I made.
I think that's the big thing about ego. For someone who's paying you for advice, you have the mindset that I can still learn from them.
Yeah, because listen, you it's even more value if they're paying me and I'm learning from them. Do you know what I mean? So
no, but it's the mindset. You're open to learning.
You can learn from everyone, and anyone who wants to have a chat. I might have a chat with someone who's got no clients, but I might take something from them who have a great idea. And
you've paid mentors, you've paid different people to support you. Have you ever had a mentor? Have you ever actively seeked mentors?
So I paid quite a lot just to kind of help me with my business side of things, because I've always been like, I'm like a warrior. I'm always on the battlefield. Never really been that kind of nerdy guy. Never in school. When I was at school, always active, So I never really was good with like computers and that kind of stuff. So I was like, I need someone to help me with this kind of stuff, and I'm not willing to just let someone do it without me understanding it or just giving away of my profit shares or anything like that. Like, I need to know what's going on. Like, I'm happy to just pay someone for a job. So first and foremost, I thought, let me just learn it. And now that I've learned certain things, I'm realizing now I need to pay someone for the expertise, because there is a lot of work to be done, and it has to be done. So
what does your business need now to grow?
So for me, for right now, like I said, I think the main step moving forward, what I've written down, is I just need some coaches, some people I can rely on, and I've got a few people in mind that I've known for years. They're not just random. Sorry about that. It's my mama.
Bye, mum.
Bye, mum.
Yeah, so So just basically coaches.
Yeah.
But ideally, I want to start with people I know rather than just anybody, because I know a few people that are really good at PTing, but maybe they don't know how to online. So I'll help them, guide them, and then from there, see how they do with some clients.
Yeah.
Build some testimonials and all that kind of
Because
good
that's
stuff.
a big piece of my business, guided growth. It's mainly to guide coaches and gym owners.
Yeah.
And, originally it was all about gym owners because that's my background. I grew gyms. And now it's like I've been having a lot of online coaches come to me and say, can you help me? And as I've been supporting them and they're growing their business, it's just shining a light on how many coaches actually need support. How many personal trainers there are out there that are training people, working all these hours, but they don't have the confidence to go online. And the type of candidate that you need needs to have confidence to go online, but also gym experience. Yeah. So they can't just be someone who's just walked through and training now online.
Just done a level 3 or something. And now they think they can do that. Don't work like that. Like,
they're representing your brand.
Yeah.
And you're going to need to deliver an amazing service.
Exactly.
So the finding the right fit can take time.
It's the experience that I'm looking for,
Yeah.
That's what's important. Like anything you look for in life, whether it's a cameraman, whether it's these guys here, they got great experience in podcasts and stuff like that. Just going to go to someone setting up. And I think a lot of people, they get fooled by people that want to kind of go into that field and they're like, oh, let me do this for you. But the quality's not going to be great,
Yeah.
It might be cheap, but you're only
We've
going to
all
get...
been stung.
Yeah.
Man. I can think of many times, like I've paid someone to do something for me, but I've only known what's bad after I've paid someone. I learned the standard. When I'm doing something new, like with videographers, I had to go through 2 or 3 bad videographers to learn what a good one is.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys have been there as well.
100%, man.
100%.
Jase, tell me about your business. What's like the next goals for you now?
That is a very good question. So the business at the minute for myself is at a capacity. So obviously the next goal is to continue to grow the brand. Obviously I've got a female coach who is doing extremely well. So the goal is to keep growing her. I've had 3 male coaches in the past, and at the time I thought it was best to sort of rechange a model and let them go. So the goal is probably to get into another space with another male coach over time, because like I said, you can help as much people as you can, but you can't help everyone. So that's where you need a team, you need a hub, and it's the only way you're going to move forward. So the goal is just to expand the team, continue adding value. Obviously I always think about it, I've been in the industry heavy for 6 years. In my head, I'm like, I need to be in the industry for another 6 years. So it's, not being complacent. What more value can we add? What content can we have? And it's not really always about, generating more clients. It's how can I retain my clients for longer and add value and keep the retention rate higher, or as long as possible, so the business is in a very good spot. The goal is just to keep growing, but in the right manner. And we can only do that with a team, because if I don't have a team, the service is going to dip and things will just start to go backwards.
And you sent me a link to your educational platform, and all those videos on there, I was looking through all this access your clients get to the knowledge that you're giving them. So you've built this platform now that people can go access all these videos from you.
Yeah, because, I always say, and I say to a lot of the young guys that message me starting out, like, income is a byproduct of the value you offer. Income is a byproduct of service, sorry. So, if I can offer a service that is even greater than what you expect, you're going to tune in for longer. Do you know what I mean? You're going to appreciate the service. So, it's just about adding a service in that essence, and what more can I do for my current clientele? Because a lot of coaches come in and like, I need to gain 10 more clients. It's like, how can I keep my current clients for another 6 months? Because then I don't need to find 10 more clients. And I think that is what's heavily overlooked is, on Instagram, I see you want to gain 10 clients, your first 50 clients. But it's like, how can you keep 50 clients? I've got some clients that have been with me for 5 years.
Amazing. 5 years.
5 years I've got some clients that have been with me. And listen, I'm not saying the whole 5 years, but they've stopped. But, 5 years later, they're still working with me.
Yeah, that shows good loyalty, which only comes from you giving them good value, because your price from 5 years ago isn't the same price now.
10x.
So,
genuinely, it's 10x.
For them to stay with you, and every time you've implemented a price increase, they had to see more and more value from you to keep staying with you.
Yeah, so it's just for me now, it's constantly what more can I do? There will get to a point where I'm like, I can't do more. And listen, I'm not doing everything I can in the world. I'm not sitting here singing that tune, but I'm constantly thinking, what more can I do for the current clientele as well?
That's good. Well, you said about the consistency and motivation. So which is more important?
It's an interesting one. Like when a new potential, so January, let's use this as an example. When a new potential client comes to me, and Jase, you know what, my consultation, I'm highly motivated. I want to get in shape. And sometimes as a coach, that's great to hear, but I'd actually rather someone without that motivation, because motivation lasts so long, in my opinion. And that's great. I'm like, yeah, that's great. Sign them up. 3 weeks later, that motivation, the gas tank's going to run out, essentially, for all of us. I don't wake up every day motivated. You don't wake up every day motivated. And what I say to these clients is, it's great you're motivated. I know you want to train 6 days a week and do cardio, 1 hour a day, but let's look for adherence and sustainability, because that is going to lead to consistency. And, consistency day to day is what leads to results. And we're in this industry to get results. You're joining up to get results. So, for me, consistency and having a plan that is adherable to you is much greater to me than being extremely motivated. I'd rather you just be consistent with a plan that's adherable.
Amazing. And
sustainable.
Motivation is so emotional driven. So on different days you're going to feel different emotions. I'm a big reader of Stoicism, and Stoicism, this philosophy, I find so fascinating, and it talks a lot about duty. And I prefer the word duty over motivation, because that word to me is like, I don't need to be happy or sad, but I need to do it.
Yeah, listen, you have a why, and that's what I say to people. It's not about being motivated. It's about just being consistent and, following something that's sustainable in anything you do in life. And that's going to get you to where you need to be, because each day you're just laying a foundation, you're laying a brick to get towards your end goal.
Yeah, that's, something like quite impressive about you that I've probably not mentioned to you is, you're so connected to your religion, but you still are so balanced in life. And there's a lot of the times there's this view where when someone's connected to their religion, they speak of it all the time, or you think they live it. But you manage to do it in this way where it's so personal and so connected to you, and you walk the walk, and you attract even someone like me who's not as religious to think, tell me more about this.
Yeah, before I knew Lats, the first thing I said is, I saw his page, and it's pop up here and there. He comes in with a respected aura.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's obviously down to his faith, down to the way he carries himself. And, that's the energy you carry in the room. And I feel that's, again, your unique selling point. That's why people are drawn to you.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. I think the balance is always kind of been a strive for me. Whether I'm doing good or I'm doing bad, I'm always trying to just meet that middle path, because I'm never going to be perfect. So I don't strive to be perfect. So I'm not going to talk about religion, because then I'm just trying to come across perfect. But then I'm not going to expose what bad I do, because there's enough of negativity in the world, So it's just trying to find that balance to keep me level. So that's kind of helped me grow as a person, and training is just there for my physical balance as well. It's like an equilibrium, like your mind, your soul, and your body. If one of them's a bit too extreme,
for you it's close. Religion and training is connected.
Yeah, you have to balance them all out, all three of them, because sometimes people are training hard and they look miserable. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, there's more to it than the physique, isn't there?
Yeah, there's way more to it. It's like, with me, if I see someone I recognize, I'll try to crack a smile, try to say hello. Like, obviously, if you're completely new face, I've never seen you before, I'm not just going to smile at you. Hey. But obviously, if I see you around or whatnot, I'll make sure, how's it going,
Yeah, I can vouch for it, because you do that. Because when I was early days getting to know you, you're smiling, you greet people, and you're so warm.
Yeah. And that's the thing, and obviously that's where my religion teaches me to be like that. It says send salam, But obviously if someone's not Muslim, I still send my peace. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I'm still smiling, and so it's important to kind of bring them attributes into your workspace, into your gym flow, and this is what attracts people. So now people come to me, they feel comfortable to speak to me. I'm in the sauna and steam, just chilling, and people are like, how'd you do this? And then you can get clients from it.
I feel like the word we want to use is you make people feel personable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They feel like there's a personal connection with you, just due to the aura that you give across.
good, man. Like, and that's good that you guys notice that, because that's what I try and do. But whether I notice people notice that, you don't always hear
It's
someone
hard.
saying
It's
it,
hard for you to recognize it when it's your norm.
Yeah.
And both your audiences are so different, but you're both successful in online coaching, which is unique. Look, you've not gone out and chased competitors. Jase, you've not gone out and chased people of a certain religion, category, or anything like that. But you both are successful in coaching.
Yeah.
So it's like you've stuck to your niche. And I speak a lot of the times about sticking to your niche, knowing who you can help the most, and you know exactly who you can help. Jase, you know who you can help. You can help lifestyle and competitors. So you hone in on those people.
That's why one of my goals with personal training is like, there's so many guys out there, and there's only very few that have the same mind frame. So I want to kind of get all the people the same mind frame, create something big, because I believe, like, you work together in something, you create something together. It's always going to be bigger than yourself. Like, a lot of people do base their branding on their self, but there's only so far yourself can go if you don't have a team pushing you to make you greater than yourself. It's like the why. Like, why are you doing this? Are you doing it for your own self-ego, or are you doing it because there's a bigger reason? You want to help masses. You want to help communities. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And the only way you can do that is if you partner up with different people that can help lots of people. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And you build a brand, or you build something that's way bigger than yourself. Like, you look at all these top brands like Nike, Adidas. There's no face to that. They bring people from the community, you know,
So
to make it bigger.
Yeah, touching on Latif, I think the word we want to use is community culture.
That's the one.
Community culture carries any brand more than any advertisement. Community culture is going to carry the brand more than any advertisement, and I stand by that.
And that's why I feel like
10
your
times
next step
over.
is for sure, when you was asking what's your next step, obviously there's only so much you could do, but you completed it.
Yeah.
You're the top level, like you're
Yeah.
you know what I'm trying to say, you
So
completed
it's
it
like
now.
that's why I'm like, I need to add more value, add more service. It's not, it's community culture. Community culture is gonna build a brand more than any advertisement. I'm 100% a firm believer in that, and building the community culture, being personable, meeting with your clientele, and potential clientele is always going to serve a greter purpose.
That's it,
I use the same saying when I'm helping gym owners. I say, people leave a gym, they don't leave a community. So, where gym owners are thinking, last month I had 300 members and this month I've got 280. Even though 20, 30 people joined, more people left.
Yeah.
But if you build a community in your gym, they're not leaving you.
Exactly.
Because they want to be a part of your community. The gym I've been at, which I know you guys from, I've not left that gym, even the times I've not been using it, because I didn't want to lose sense of that community that's a part of that gym.
Yeah.
And that's like a big piece.
It's important, yeah.
Yeah, I always use this phrase. I'm like, how many people, obviously not in our field, but how many people use companies, Slimming World, Weight Watchers, and they're not sticking to the diet, but they never leave the group or community, because people don't want to leave the community, because sometimes it's more than what the diet plan, the training plan. It's just a community feel.
And you got to think, how many different types of communities are you a part of? Not like, think you've got different circles, different types of friends, and for each different type of friend, you might wear a different hat. We're all one person. We all are our true self. But the same hat that I'm going to wear with my family, I'm not going to wear with my friends. And with certain friends, I'm thinking very differently.
That's because of wisdom in your life. You know how to deal with different people differently. You can't deal with everyone the same way. I can't tell you what's right and wrong to you, because your right and wrongs may be different to this other person, So you have to deal with people accordingly to their knowledge.
Yeah, I try not to use words to others. When people ask me for advice, I'm lucky because there's people coming to me for advice, whether that be in business or life, whatever it is. I try not to use the words like should, you should, because I try to say more like, what would I do? How do I behave? And that seems to connect with people far more, because when you say words like you should, or I advise you should do this, it turns people off, because your advice tends to come from a place that you would be telling yourself.
No, 100%, man. I agree for sure.
Jase, what's the plans now with your business? You've grown, you've got your digital proposition good now. So you pushing on the app. What's the next goal?
I'm actually not pushing on the app yet, because obviously we've got a lot of video, feedback now is done by video. I feel it's the greatest way to connect and engage. And, I speak a lot about retention and, longevity of clientele and community culture. And I feel like that is what is coming from that. So the goal is just to move forward and add to that, and just keep adding more things to the arsenal, adding more resources, adding more educational resources, making people actually understand what's in front of them. And, I can give you a training plan, I can give you a diet plan, I can give you as much motivation as I can. But if you don't understand the why, you might not stick to it. But if you understand the reasoning behind everything in depth, you're more likely to stick to it. So the goal is just to keep adding an abundance of value where we can.
And that's in obviously your coaching business. And then in Mentors Corner, you've got, let's say you're going to give advice to someone listening who's got 1 or 2 clients or no clients. What's the first thing they need to start to do? What do they need? What actions can they take to start building their online business?
If you've got a handful of clients, the first thing you can do is add value, and that's going to come from we're in a world. The world is ruled by content and content creation. And I said to someone on a call this week, there's a difference between content and there's a difference between adding value. Getting your camera out and filming something that's not going to touch people, that is content. Adding value is adding something educational which someone can take away from. So a lot of these online coaches in the space, which I see now, are just filming content with no meaning or why behind it. So now when I write my content in my notes, content, topic, why? Why is this the topic today? Who am I aiming to touch? Everything needs a plan, and then that's the way it's going to hit people. So, as I say to the guys and girls, make a content schedule. And that's not Monday, do a post. No, that's Monday, this is a post, this is a topic, this is who it's hitting, this is the audience, this is who it must hit. I want to engage with this. So being a bit more acute in adding value with your content rather than I've got a camera and I'm filming content.
But it's a real skill that you've honed in, because, there's times that you're posting 4 or 5 times a day. And now when you're creating that much content and there's methodology, like, you have a method between how much you're posting, and obviously you're teaching guys in Mentor Corner how they can be posting like you and how they can create that amount of attention, which will then they'll monetize into then whatever services they're selling. But that methodology behind you posting so much, how did you build? In the first few years, were you posting as much from the get-go?
So I've actually slowed down my posts now because,
This is slow now.
Slower. I do 1 post a day, typically, one post a day. And the reason when I first started and my method myself, algorithm, who knows how the algorithm runs? You're going to tell me if you post at this time, it's better.
Yeah.
Latif's going to tell me if I post at this time, it's better. So my methodology is I just want to be seen. You're going to get WhatsApp. You're going to get Instagram out. If I post 3 times a day, you're going to see me once. And if you see the constant result, which you're striving to get multiple times a day, you're then going to click that bait and you're going to buy, and then we're going to have a conversation. So my methodology for about 12 to 18 months straight was I'm going to post multiple times a day, because every time you get your phone out, you're going to see Jase 345's made a post. And I would go in the gym and someone was like, oh, you've posted again today, sarcastically. And in my head, I'd leave and I'd be like, well, that's worked. They've seen my content.
Yeah.
And we laugh about it now.
I love this. I love it.
My business grew a lot. And the reason I've pulled back on posting is because I'm at a capacity. I'm posting once a day. But I was posting 3, 4, 5 times a day. And, when a result came in or a testimonial, I'm very much strike while the kettle's hot. If 5 came in on that day, 5 would go out on that day. And if you pulled out your phone at 8 a.m, I'm on your page. If you pull it out at midday, I'm on your page. If you're a potential buyer, and what I say to these coaches is, you have not to that experience. Obviously, I tried that, I pulled back, but your message in coaching has to be so consistent. Your message in any business has to be so consistent. So before you buy a product, before I ever bought coaching and I worked with a coach, I followed the coach I wanted to work with for 6 to 8 months before I even messaged them. I've watched them and I've said their message is consistent, their message is consistent, their message is consistent. If they change their message, I'm going to look elsewhere. So my goal was, if I keep posting my message is consistent, this person that's sitting on the fence, they're going to see so much that eventually they're going to say, all right, yep, he can do something for me. Because as shallow as this sounds, in a business like ours, which is heavy on social media, like, people, the reason I don't post much of myself is people don't give a shit how I look. In this shallow world we live in, everyone hear this, people say, what can Jase do for me? And that is the bottom line. So the more results I showed of people from similar walks of life, people say, oh, he can do something for me. And that was genuinely for 18 months my methodology. And it paid off. And obviously, as everything evolves, now that methodology has changed.
I love it. And when I take on a new client for coaching, for building their online brand, one thing I tell them first, the first thing that we cover is their mission statement. Then we cover their three main values in their business. So what's their mission statement? What are they trying to touch? What they're trying to accomplish with their business? Who can they help the most? Then there are three values that they have that they can they feel like it represents them.
And I think the reason why that's a good question, people's mission statement and who they think they can help is because, like I said, I think I put on my story today, I had someone message me who I'm helping with their, not fitness business, but like they've got a few businesses. And they said to me, Jase, I want to teach people, but you know what? I'm going to teach them Amazon FBA. I'm going to teach them crypto. I'm going to teach them electrician I'm going to teach them Forex, and I'm going to teach them tech. And I said, wow, if you speak to everyone, you speak to no one.
Yeah.
So I said, let's limit that and go off the priority task, learn who you're speaking to, and then go from there.
That connects with me so much what you're saying. When I grew up in a low income area. So I grew up with parents who were claiming every benefit to help us. And my mindset growing up was, I'm going to have so many side hustles. I'm going to make money. I will do airport runs. I will cut your grass. I will walk your dog. I will do everything for you because I need to have so many revenue streams. Yeah. That's all I heard as a kid. But now as I'm building my businesses, I'm thinking, I want to hone all my energy into one thing. I don't want to do so many different things because I'm spreading my energy so thin. I'm actually not putting not much into one business. And an example that I heard was, did Jeff Bezos have side hustles? No, because he was so busy building Amazon, he was just focusing on that. So that made me really connect with letting go of every little trivial business that I've had in the past. Literally, you think of it and I've done it. Because now all I'm trying to do is build this one big business. Like obviously, I've got my sports rehab clinics and they're busy. And that's something that's really funded my passion towards helping businesses now. Yeah. Because that entrepreneur mindset that I had growing up turned into me actually realizing I'm actually passionate about a business. I'm not just passionate about fitness like you guys. I love talking about business. Someone tells me they're an investor in anything, I want to know about it.
Exactly, that's exactly how I'm like. I'm all about trying to build my business, like your baby, And I think a lot of people, when they're trying to build a business, is they love to let their business be basically babysitted by somebody else.
Yeah.
So, I'm just like, what are you doing? You need to be hands-on. You need to learn what you're doing. Don't just give it away and just say, yeah, deal with this. Know what's happened. Yes, give people that are better than you and expertise. But don't just let this person deal with everything and you just turn a blind eye to it. It's just, you're not going to, there's only so far you can go like that.
And I can imagine years from now, you've got a coaching team that's helping hundreds of people. You can help your coaches and your clients best because you've done every job. Yes. You've done every role within that company.
It's a bit like when I've got a client. So when someone comes up, I say to them, I've sold numerous amounts of training programs. I've done PT and personal training. I've been on the floor training people. I've even done a little boot camp here and there. All of these kind of gym instructor. And at the end of the day, I know having accountability, someone who can online coach you, do your programming is always going to be the best way forward because you become reliant on a PT. If you have a training program, are you motivated? Have you got any accountability for that training program? I don't do the same training program today as I did 3 years ago. Who's going to change it? Who's going to edit it for you?
Yeah.
So I tell them all of these different things. So, go for the cheap way. Go on YouTube and try and gather as much information. It's all out there to learn. But I've never learned a language from going on YouTube, and I'm sure you can try if you really knew how to. So there's a certain level of expertise you need to understand before you follow a training program. I can say to Jase, write me up a training program. He knows I'm going to follow it. So I'm training, I'm motivated, I'm someone that's doing something consistently by all means necessary.
How do you connect with someone who's not motivated?
So how do I connect with someone that's not
motivated? So in that, that's the question that you're having. Yeah. Because you've trained so many people in the gym, you've trained people who aren't motivated, so how do you still connect them online still drive them to perform?
Go back to what we said, it's like if you're not motivated, what's adherable and what's sustainable?
Yeah.
Because what's adherable and what is sustainable is going to outweigh it's someone who's not motivated, because once you're adherable and it's sustainable, you're going to compound little results, and little results are going to lead to a big loss. Then a big loss is going to lead to excitement, and excitement's going to lead to adherence, and then adherence over time is going to lead to I'm motivated to get even better. So you don't have to start off motivated. You can start off in a slump with a bit of adherence, with a bit of sustainability, and leave motivated.
And how do you cover expectation that you have? So your clients come to you, Jase, and they have a certain amount of expectation. Some guys who have let's say I'm incredibly overweight. I'm 110 kilos. I look like a marshmallow. I can't help it. I've been out of shape for so many years. I now come to you and I say, I want to lose 30 kilos in a month. How do you manage this expectation that people have got?
Listen, the expectations are a huge thing, and everyone's going to expect, and you just have to break down realistic timeframes and realistic barriers. And ultimately, what you have to do is break down the expectation, and sometimes have them harsh conversations and saying that is not reality. Where a lot of coaches will mislead, false advertise, and false sell to get that client on board. But transparency is king. And letting someone know that this journey is not going to be easy. It is here for the long haul. And if you're not willing to do it, I'm not willing to work for you. Because the minute you tell someone, I do not want your money, they will most likely give you their money.
Yeah. And what I can add to that is as well, so when I've got a client and they want to get to their goals and everything like that, and they want to be fast at it, I say, I don't care what level you're at, I'm starting you as a baby.
Yeah.
You got to crawl before you, because
Yeah.
yes, you might be further. If I'm going to go to uni and I know a little bit more than other people, yeah, you might have different classes, but you're going to get started with the basics.
Yeah.
And the foundation, you've got to lay a foundation. There's certain things you need to learn, and maybe reiterate and get it correct, because maybe you was doing it wrong. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be calling me up. So we need to figure that out.
And you've got peace of mind with that client saying, I've definitely showed them the basics. Even though whether they knew it before or not, they know it because I've told them.
Yeah, and like me and Latif, I'm pretty sure like any client that signed up, every coach has their own blueprint, where they start with, what they do first, et cetera going forward.
That's amazing.
And that's why for me, sorry, to add to what I always do is when I sign up a client, I jump on a call with them. I figure out what their why is, their lifestyle, how much they can train before in a week. See what their eating's like. So I have all this information jotted down, so I can kind of assess, and then I get them to do a fitness test. So with that fitness test, it's just see how strong they are. So I'm not just gonna.
What's that consist of, the fitness test?
So it's just simple, like how long can you hold a plank for? How can you do a push-up? How many can you do? Can you do a squat? And I get them to send me a video so I can see their form. So then at least that way, I know the program that I create for them is accordingly to their level.
It's so basic and so good.
So basic, but it's
basic fundamentals you need to go into the gym and perform these movements. So it's a great tool.
But what a lot of people do is they just sell a training program, or they buy a program. It's either going to be too hard or too easy for them, or it's, and I say to them, I use this analogy, I'm like, when I go get a haircut, I don't just go into the barber and
five
say,
times a week.
Yeah.
How many times a week? Get a haircut.
How many times a week?
Everyone, bro, look how long it is, man.
That's not. That line's just been put in.
Nah, my hair goes kind of slow still. But yeah, so I always just say to them, like, the days are done when I just go into a barber shop and say, yeah, just give me a fade. Yeah. Well, I say, look, you got this little line here, touch up the beard. So everything's customized to me. It's not just, I want to lose weight. I just want to build muscle. I'm like, okay, let's see where you're lagging in your body. Yeah. Let's see what needs more tension. I had a guy who goes, I want to build a massive chest. Like, okay, we need to stimulate and get the blood in that chest more often in a week than maybe other muscle groups in your body. Me, my shoulders have always been lagging compared to my biceps. You see the biceps there? So they're
definitely not lagging.
I need to basically make sure my shoulders are playing catch up. Yeah. So I can't just do a standard training program that covers everything the same. These need more work, and everyone's different.
And I connect that with business, because not every area of your business will need the same amount of attention. Jase is lucky enough that he's got so many leads coming in. So he doesn't need to put that much energy into there. 100%. So like, where are you putting your energy at the moment in your business?
Like I said, my energy is just offering more value and as much service I can provide, and how can I make that better. That's where my energy is for now. But as it works, in 8 weeks my energy will be elsewhere, and once I feel that that cup of water's filled up, we then fill up another cup of water. There's always going to be something that needs attention.
Yeah. And something I wanted to talk about was, like, I've spoke to you both about your clients. You genuinely care about your clients. And when I have got online coaches coming on board, they're talking about their clients as though they're not invested in their goals as much. But you both sound like you truly care about your clients' results. And I think that really shows in your work, and that's why you're busy. That's why clients refer more work to you. Like, they'll tell their friends about you because they can feel that you care.
Yeah, because this online coaching space, it's great. It's busy. People say it's oversaturated, but PTs are oversaturated, and there's still PTs getting paid £100 an hour. Do you know what I mean? And it just comes down to the individual and what you're willing to do. And I feel like, you know, you have to show an element of care into your clients. Why? The more care you show, the better result you're going to get. And again, like as much as I say, as much as service is great, and you know, service should be a baseline at a standard, but it is still a results-driven business, and results come from client care, being alert, knowing what a client needs change, you know, being attentive, communicating multiple times a week, and that's how results come.
Yeah, you just gotta spend the time. If you don't take the time out and put, you're not gonna get it back, are you?
No, not like everything, like literally in this, everything you put in, I say you get out, but sometimes you don't if the client's not adherable. But, you know, if you got an adherent client and you're putting in a lot of time, touch wood, it all compounds and comes together, you know. But it's not always the case, but 9 times out of 10, if you're knowledgeable and you can be personable and offer value, it goes a long way.
Yeah, and that's why for me, like, you know, I stress on the importance of kind of giving free time to people that want to actually, you know, become a client of mine, because I could just say go buy a program, this, that, the other, but I just know this is not going to benefit you. You know, I need to see who you are first, and I don't mind sacrificing my time as long as you understand my seriousness. So then when they do sign up, they give me everything they got because they know what I've given them. You know, in the program.
You're selling with such kindness. It's unique.
Yeah.
Like, do you know, not many people sell.
No. Let's correct. Latif isn't selling, and I hope he agrees with me. This he's helping, but what he's doing is Latif. A lead comes into Latif. He's not looking to sell. He's saying, how can I add value?
Yeah.
He adds free value, and then naturally that client is sold.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you add value, and what these clients are doing with Latif, they're building a rapport. They're building a sense of trust, and that's where he is then selling. And let me get into building a rapport and building a sense of trust. So Latif said, you know, when my lead comes in, you know, I get them on a phone call, whether it's a phone call or WhatsApp, and I say to all the coaches, you know, a coach said to me last week, a lead came in, I sent him my price over Instagram. I said, wow, I can message The Rock on Instagram. I can't message him on WhatsApp. Why? Because WhatsApp is more personable than Instagram.
Yeah.
So when Latif...
They feel like they've got closer to you now.
Get someone... You don't give your number to a stranger. Yeah. A female doesn't give their number to a stranger. So once you've got someone's WhatsApp, you've now built that personable connection. And then what Latif's doing is he's getting a consult call, he's then adding value, and he's not pushing a hard sell. And then with adding value, the client is comfortable, and then they're signing up. So what a lot of the what a lot of the online coaches are doing, who are struggling, they're selling at the first standpoint before adding any value. Add value before you sell your product.
Exactly.
You know, there's an old book, the Gary Vee book, which says jab, jab, right hook. It's always give 3 times and ask once. And then that's the message from religion as well, from Islam, which is give 3 times and ask once.
Because what I say in my call, my call that I give them, I say, even if you don't sign up to me or you don't want me to work with you, you're going to have clarity of what direction you need to take.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell them. You're going to know what it takes for you to get from your goal to go. At least that way, you know, you'll understand. If you want to go somewhere else, I don't care. Like, come to me, I'll help you, and we can make this happen. But I don't care if you pick someone else over me, it's fine. But I'm happy I've helped you in the direction, you know? And then, you know, but to be honest, like, it's the way I do think, the reason why I do it like this is because it just, you know, my clients just flood in like this. Like, they all, like, even if they don't have the money there and then, they'll put a deposit down and they come back. Like, it's so rare that they'll just say, oh, this took. They never say this is took. They say, no, this is great. I really want to do this.
Because when something, again, comes with value, you find a way. It's never too expensive.
Never.
And you know, when you mentioned before, when someone follows you, they follow you 3 to 6 months before they buy.
100%.
And you know, that timeline between, you know, in the old-fashioned school of marketing, there used to be 7 touch points before you buy. So I used to see a Nike logo, Nike bag, hear the advert, see the shop, and then I would go in and purchase. But now that cycle is far longer because there's so much distrust on the internet. So that distrust causes me to stay and follow that person for a lot longer.
And that's what we need to build, trust. Yeah, 100%. That's my main thing, is building trust. Like, I signed up a client, one girl, and within 2 days she just liked how she become my client. She was like, oh, can you train my sister? I told her so, and then I spoke to her sister, and I've only trained this girl for I've only helped her for 2 days. I don't think I had set the program up yet, but just because of how I was speaking to her, this older sister was like, "Oh, my sister was praising you. She's saying you're this, you're really good." And I was like, "Well, I haven't even done too much yet." Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I haven't even got her to her goals, and she's already praising me like that. So let's see.
Because sometimes it's as mad as it sounds, it's not about the end goal. It's about the journey. It's about the process. I can get to the end goal and hate the journey. I'll do it once. I'll do it that once. You know, it's not just about the end goal. Sometimes it's about the journey. Have I connected? Have I understood? You know, do I know why I'm doing it? Have I got to the end goal?
Yeah.
You know, there's a saying: "Don't give me a tip, refer a friend."
Yeah.
And that is the best compliment. When someone's telling their friend in my clinics, it was built off referrals.
Yeah.
So you know that referral business is the best compliment because they've said to you, "I loved what you did with me so much, and I'm so grateful that I'm going to tell somebody else that I care
And this is what a lot
about."
of people forgot about is that the referral. They think because they have a big following, they forget about. But you know, they don't realize it's the referral because people that follow just people not stupid enough just to buy into something unless there's some sort of proof in the pudding.
Yeah.
So don't think that because you have a big following, that's enough. You need to make sure you've got these client referrals, you've got these before and after pictures, you've built your portfolio up.
What comes with referral is trust. You're gonna trust your friend if he refers you. You're not gonna trust a stranger cold calling you in the DM.
Yeah.
You know, I still think referrals are massively underlooked and overlooked in the industry.
You ever ask your clients for referrals?
No, I never asked my clients for referrals, but obviously doing this a long time, I've had a lot of clients, you know, that have, hey, Tony's got in shape. Can you give me a go? You know, Simon sang good praises. Can you give me a go?
I chuck it in there, man. I just one of my emails after.
I love
3
it.
days,
I love that you say it.
One of the 3 emails that come to them, referral, and I give them money if they refer. I say straight.
After this, referrals. I think.
I say to them, if you give me a referral, because then it comes a bit like, let's say, a pyramid scheme. Because now they technically could be working for you. Oh, do you know what? Yeah, like to cover my next month, all I have to do is give them 4 referrals, and all these people are asking me and saying how good I look.
So if I'm your client,
how do you do this referrals?
Yeah.
So obviously, I send out an email after 3 days, which is already set up on my system, and then basically it just says, you know, basically if you have anyone that you want a referral, like send to me, then send them my number, and you'll get £50.
Amazing.
Nice. That imagine if
it's a bit. The email's a little bit longer, but
yeah. I can imagine.
Sure.
Again, like you, essentially, like that. You buy into a brand. You're buying into a brand, and you know why are you wearing Hugo Boss today? You like the brand. You've bought into the brand. You know, if I said to you, mate, I'm going out on a Saturday, you know, you could say, yeah, go Hugo Boss, get a T-shirt. That referral scheme is actually amazing because if someone is so invested into you, they will find 10 people for your brand.
Yeah. And I like the managers up in Hugo Boss, man. Shout out to Hugo Boss. They're good people, man. They always like look after me when I go there. And the guys in the store, they, you know.
Can you get a suit that fits you?
Yeah,
you've not seen his photos.
Used Boss anyway. They tailor everything for you, man. Like they'll fit you anyhow, man.
Seen his Hugo Boss shoot?
Yeah, man.
I've not seen. I used to see this shoot.
Hugo Boss do me nice, man. But obviously, maybe if I was just to go to a normal place and get a suit, we'll have a bit of a trouble.
Yeah.
Hugo's solid. Nah, man. Referrals. I think referrals. Listen, listen. Like I said, you learn from everyone. I've learned. Maybe I should do referrals. That's my issue.
Yeah.
You know, maybe.
And that's what I want to learn for you actually. So, because I haven't got coaches yet. Well, I'm speaking to people, but I haven't got established coaches yet. What is it to keep them into your business? What is it you do that keeps them there? Because they could be like, okay, do you know what? I know how to do this online coaching now. Let me go create my own thing. Which I feel like for me, I'd always give someone the option, but I feel like I can still bring more value to a coach.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
That's great if they feel they can do their own thing. That's absolutely fine. But if they thought they could do their own thing, they would have done their own thing.
But what I'm saying is after they've learned from you.
They might learn,
sure you teach
but
them a level
they might learn, but where healthy mindset's going to be is they're not going to want to leave that community. They're going to be proud to work with you.
And I've got another outlook on that is you may teach them the skills of how to get someone in shape, but getting customers to the door is another skill itself. So, you know, that skill that makes a successful business is can you acquire customers? Can you get people through the doors?
This is different. Like people, again, they're buying into you. They're buying into your brand. So, you know, a lot of people, listen, I've had 3 coaches that work for me. Out of the 3 males that got let go, one of them have a brand.
Yeah.
and and others tried it and not been successful in it, and that's absolutely fine because it does look easier, but you have to explain to the potential person you have been working with, you're not working for me, you're subcontracting work for me from me essentially, and you're buying into this brand. And ultimately my coach is very fortunate, she gets more than a 50% stake of the coaching deal or agreement.
And this is why I say to
very generous.
This is why I say to my coaches that I'm working with now. So obviously I'm a Healthy Mindset, that's me. Leonine now is a brand, it's a training fitness brand, just like all these other brands. I work for Leonine, even though I've created
you're
it. I work.
subcontracted.
And that's what I say to them. You work for them as well.
Yeah, you're
so
subcontracted.
It's a business that needs to run. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So, like,
how's that different from Leonine? How's that different to Healthy Mindset?
Because he's Healthy Mindset. In my eyes,
I'm healthy.
he's Healthy
Yeah,
Mindset.
I refer to you as Healthy Mindset.
I refer to
when
you
I talk to someone,
Yeah.
I say, that's Healthy Mindset. I don't even say Latif.
Healthy
in my head.
Mindset is my lifestyle that I've picked up along the way of my journey.
Yeah.
My mindset has been healthy from the get-go. It's a good reminder for myself because it keeps the body healthy and it keeps my mind healthy. So that's why I like the name Healthy Mindset. So that's why with Leonine is Leonine is means lion like. So it's a way of training. So when I train, what do you want to feel like when you're training? You want to feel like a beast. You want to feel like a lion.
Yeah.
So it's a new concept. So when I'm in the gym, I'm thinking about being a lion, like being a beast. So that's in the gym. I train like a lion.
Yeah.
But in lifestyle, I'm a Healthy Mindset, and that's why I have the two different.
Love it.
And that's what I want Leonine to be for everybody. So if you come into Leonine as a coach or a client, you're training like a lion.
But again, now I'm looking at it from my outside perspective, Leonine, it's not just about how you train, because how does a lion feel? I'm in shape now. I'm walking around, my aura is better, I'm proud.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm walking around, the lion walks around full of confidence.
Yeah.
So it's not just about how you might see it as that, but you're seeing it, how does Jay see it from an outsider? I'm seeing your brand as, you train hard like a lion, ferocious, but I'm like, these are a group of people that are now achieved their goal, they've got better confidence, they're walking around proud and full of confidence. So you're seeing it as it's just about training, but what does that? No, that links back into Leonine. Now links back into the mindset.
Yeah, 100%. It all is a vicious circle.
Yeah.
but yeah,
man. I think it's massive, and that's when you hire coaches, it's hard. You do have to, and I'm going to give you this advice: you can't bet the coaches.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Get a stranger to vet the coaches, because naturally, people, you're gonna have a relationship. I've known him 10 years. This is business.
And that's the thing. So these are all notes that I've written down. I've strategized everything. I'm always a guy of strategy. I've always been a guy of diaries from a young age. I've always, even before I become Muslim, like I was trying to pray twice a day, and I was writing it down. I could show you, like, literally just trying to pray. And then as soon as I become Muslim, I write down, I've got to get my 5 prayers in. I've always strategized how to get to that next step. Yeah. It's never just been lackadaisical, flowing, just...
Yeah, and that's the great thing. So, honestly, I say to people, get someone mutual, even if it's us, but get someone else to vet the coach who doesn't know them and they got no relationship, because you're just going to get an honest insight. And listen, coaches are great. It is hard to find. It took me 3-4 years before I thought, and now I'm looking for it. I'm not actively looking, because I feel when finding a coach, you don't go looking for them.
Yeah,
I feel you just come across them.
100%.
Every time I've looked, you just come across.
Yeah.
And you have your own biases. So when you meet someone, and sometimes your own bias portrays the image that you want to see on that person, and a fresh pair of eyes will judge them completely differently. And sometimes the questioning they'll have for that person will be different. So you might have someone in mind, because you might have your own pre-bias with that person. You might imagine they're way better than they are. Yeah. So getting a fresh pair of eyes.
And that just might be due to the way they are with you. Because they're that way with you, it doesn't mean they're that way with everyone. And remember, like, they represent the brand and they represent you always.
That's amazing. I'm going to finish for today. Perfect, man. I'll probably have you on again, because there's loads of amazing insights that you guys have. Not only in building businesses, but as people, in your kindness, in how you treat others. I think there's so many different areas to talk about and different avenues we can go down. And I think the part that really stands out to me is that I just want to share knowledge. I want to share. There's nothing that I wouldn't tell anyone. If anyone asks me any business advice, it's all for free. Yeah. Nothing that you need to pay for. because if you ask me a question, the answer's there for you.
Yeah, no,
So I think that format of just being able to share knowledge now, podcasting is a lot more popular, but it gives us all an opportunity to share what we know so we can help someone else. If you've managed to make it to the end, thank you. My palms are sweating, so I just want to thank you again. So if you can find the time to follow on our social pages, it's Guided Growth Gram on Instagram, YouTube Guided Growth. So please take the time and follow the pages, because I want to provide as much value as I can to every listener. And if you have any questions, please shoot me an email, DM. I'd love to interact more with you.